this is how we get to space now. I've built this scaffolding tower to build limit, and I intend to climb up to build limit. If you've guessed by the title of this video, we're building a space station today. So, yeah. I thought I'd be at the top by now. I thought I timed it pretty well, but unfortunately I haven't, but it seems like we're at the top now, so great. This is also build limit, but we won't be building right at build limit, we'll be building down here. Anyways, now that we're up here, it's time to talk about my master plan. So, as you probably most likely know, most space stations have little cylindrical pods that connect together in this sort of Lego-like fashion, and I'm going to try to keep some of that detail in mind. However, I want this to be more of a futuristic-looking space station, so it's going to also have some of my own components. You can see here I've started to make the shape of the main module, so I'm going to now plan some more shapes out and talk a little bit about it once I'm finished. So here's the plan. I'm going to have 3 modules, 1, 2, 3 here, and they're going to be oval shaped as to look a little bit more futuristic than our modern space stations. And I'm going to have solar panels out here on either side of the large egg that is the center. These blocks are just placeholders, and I'm going to have a dock for a spaceship here, and I'm going to have a big satellite dish up at the top. So the first step for me here is to fill in each of the modules, because personally I find it a lot easier to plan and build once I have already completed segments within the build. It just makes it so it's a lot more whole and easier to imagine what the final product would look like, if that makes any sense. I know my explanation is a little bit wonky for that, but that's why. So that means I'm filling in each of these modules, and then I'm going to work on their interiors before moving on to the solar panels. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save the interiors until the end, then I can design them around the exterior features, which I have planned, but I haven't told you yet, because, you know, you can find that out soon. Did I actually do that right while I was talking? No, I'm off a block. Okay, building and talking isn't my best skill. I'm not very good at it. Oh my goodness, this does look like an egg. That's okay. I've pretty much resigned myself to this egg theme now, so I'm gonna go with it. Yep, very egg-like, which is exactly what I wanted. So now what I want to do is just work on some exterior detail, including the solar panels, which I have a very special design for. Since this is supposed to be more of a futuristic-looking satellite, they're not going to be simple flat solar panels like we have today. I'm going to try to do something a little bit special with them. But first, I want to talk briefly about how I do round shapes in Minecraft, getting from something like this to something more like this. And I understand that it can be pretty intimidating to make something like this, especially in a big scale like this, where, you know, you need to get every corner right or it looks a little bit off. And I want to tell you, don't be intimidated. It's good practice to do, and it's really easy to start with this method, which is just carve it out. And carving it out really helps. It's pretty tedious in the long run if you're doing a huge build. However, it's a lot easier to visualize yourself as you carve it out instead of just trying to build the whole thing outright. I hope that explanation helps. I know it's kind of janky, and if you're confused about it, ask me in the comments and I'll try to explain it in a better way there. I'm just a little bit flustered right now, so I'm not sure if it's hitting home with everyone. Flustered explanation out of the way, here's what I've got so far with the solar panels, and you might be wondering, what the heck is going on here? Well, you'll see in a bit. Either it's going to be a fantastic mess or a fantastic looking solar panel. I really am not sure right now, but we're gonna go for it just to have fun. You know what? That doesn't actually look that bad. I am pretty happy with this, so I'm going to copy it over by hand, because I don't have any world edit in this world, onto the other side. If you've noticed, I've also put in some extra decorations onto the sides here, which I think looks pretty cool. It makes it look a little bit like it has some depth, even though it doesn't. Forgot to mention dried kelp blocks. That's what I used. They work great for solar panels in any application. It's just, I like the way they are. Even though it's slightly off-center, it still works out great. Of course, if you haven't known this is off-center, now you can never unsee it. Sorry. And there we have it. With the second foil added, the exterior is almost done. All we need now is the big dish of death on the top. However, I don't want to work on that right now. Right now, I want to focus on the large expanse on the inside and try to make it nice and pretty, and then we can go on a bit of a tour. Interior prettification. Ooh, that's a new word. Prettification complete, and you can see that the central pod is dominated by this huge central control stack. And I did that because I needed something to fill the space, because remember, this will be in a near zero-G environment, so if you get stuck right in the middle and you're just floating about, you'll have nothing to push yourself off against in order to get back onto one of the sides, so you'll just kind of be stuck floating there, and it'll be really awkward. So I thought I'd add something down through the middle just to make that less of a possibility. You can see each of these sides, I have this little passageway which allows you to go into crawl mode like this in order to get to the next section. Now, 2 of them are linked to the edges of the solar panels, and this blinking light you can see here, kind of, is supposed to indicate that there's power flowing through the system. Now, each of these chambers is unique. I'm not sure which this one is. I think this one is the sleeping one. Yep, this is the sleeping one. So this one's got 3 beds and some thingies, as well as some storage. And the other pod contains some botany, because you gotta have some flowers or something growing in your space station, or else, is it really a space station? Yes, it can really be a space station without flowers. I'm just being stupid. Sorry. Oh, oh, there's my head. And now, with the cluttered interior out of the way, all that's left to do is to finish the giant dish of death. Also, these leaf blocks indicate the build limit, so that's why they're here. If you've been wondering that, now you know. And there we have it. Oh, I almost overshot there. There's our dish of death. Aptly named, I think, considering it is shooting out a giant laser. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I like it. A little bit on the stone, but I think it's the best block to use because it contrasts with the rest of it. Also, while I was at it, I built a little cartoony spaceship to attach to the bottom. Let's have a look at it as a whole. I know I haven't really given you much of a visual, but here you go. A nice turnaround, I think. Yeah, I'm going to try to incorporate this into other episodes because I know I kind of rush through and then end the episode before you have a chance to look at the final product in much detail, so yeah, hope this works. Anyways, it's now time for me to say farewell and strap myself into this cartoon rocket. So, I hope you enjoyed, and more importantly, I hope you took some kind of inspiration from this to go build your own space station in your own world. I forgot what I built there for a second. Anyways, thank you very much for watching to this point, and I will hopefully see you next time. Goodbye. Oh, I'm dead now. There goes all the air in the cockpit. In real life, the space stations that we have, for example, the International Space Station, has cylindrical shaped pods. And they do that because they are most pressure efficient. Now, everything in nature wants to be a sphere. It's just it's the easiest shape to exist in. So, the cylindrical pods, and I've done this completely wrong, I should probably not be building while I talk. So the cylindrical pods help with that by alleviating stress on the sides of the space station. That's the same reason why airliners have oval-shaped windows instead of square-shaped windows, because when they had square-shaped windows, they had problems with stress on the aircraft from pressurizing and depressurizing. It's one of the reasons why the first jetliner had several explosions. But, you know, this is a Minecraft channel. We're not going to talk about that. So I'm going to start building out some hulls, and we'll see.